Okay. Okay. So now let me share. Okay, so we were here. And so, yeah, Kimber was saying the last time that he was not so much at ease talking about the 5 part and 10 levels. And he wanted to come back to it. So this is what he did this time. And so about the ultimate bodhisattva, he added a few things, which I'm going to bring to you. And so he started by saying that, as we have seen until now, Jama Khyentse Wangpo was making it clear that those who recite this praise are going to develop the causes and conditions to accomplish the 5 parts and the 10 bhumis. And so when he was talking about the ultimate bodhicitta, or the vow, or the development of the enlightened mind, the ultimate enlightened mind, development of the enlightened mind. And so he said that this was actually meditating on emptiness. So the ultimate development of the ultimate bodhicitta is meditating on the emptiness. And yes, so I said the other time that it is the vow of bodhicitta senke. But then if we, I think it was down here. And then he expanded Gunzo Senke in Gunzo Janjubgi Semkes. And so if we expand it, then it's easier to see that it is an expression, which means developing the mind of enlightenment that is relative. So developing the relative enlightened mind. And so because we do it down there, we can do it up here also. So I think rather than these two solutions that I have given before, what would make more sense here is through developing, developing the ultimate bodhicitta, one will accomplish. So I prefer that one. The other ones I just, maybe I take out. So through developing the ultimate bodhicitta, one will accomplish the 5 parts, and with the wisdom of meditating on emptiness. Tandam Sinjilate Shiratoni Kombi. Kombi Niling Digits. False parts. With the wisdom. Yes, okay. With the wisdom, the meditation on emptiness acting as the main cause, the perpetuating cause, and with the method, the great compassion and the helping of the cause. Yes, okay, so that's fine. And then after, what did he add also? Yes, and so here once again he said that the perpetuating cause, or the main cause, is the one that is going to actually create the result, just like the seed creates the sprout. Okay, and then he said with the methods. So the methods and the great compassion, and in between he said we can say either the methods or the great compassion. Here, Zenon Rado, which clearly shows that the methods here and the great compassion are used as synonyms. One is the other. And we could say with the methods of the great compassion, or the methods that are the great compassion, that is the great compassion. Or simply keep this juxtaposition, the fact that they are put one beside the other, just like that. The methods, the great compassion, acting as the helping condition, the auxiliary condition. Okay, yeah. So I just
reason for being methods, the words.
Yeah, this he didn't
just
explain.
Methods or
means
methods. Or
yes,
ways, or is it different? It's really methods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is, I mean, it is a technical term, and we see that you have the wisdom here on top. That is the meditation on emptiness, and then you have the methods, which is the great compassion. So it is not just like means or anything. It's the technical term when it's referring to despair, methods and wisdom.
Okay. So it doesn't have actually. There is no word to refer to method. No.
Yes, tap.
Tap.
Yes.
Mm.
But here it is clearly making so the methods, which is the great compassion, and on top the wisdom, which is meditating on emptiness. So we are referring to despair of things, which is like they said, it's necessary for to have both at the same time.
Compassion and emptiness.
The great compassion and wisdom. Yeah. Okay. So I find interesting that he's kind of explicitly showed that what was put in opposition was actually in the sense of being synonymous. Okay, so that was for this part. Then the next one for the relative bodhicitta. So I'm going to do the same, developing relative bodhicitta. Okay, so yes, for the relative bodhicitta, then he said much more. Last time he just said 2 words, but now he said much more. Yes, and so he said again that these relative bodhicitta is the bodhicitta in intention and in application, Manju. And then about here, it is only said the compassion. Compassion, yes, with compassion acting as the main cause. And then here, I can understood that it was about the great compassion, because it is the same as what we found up there. It is this here. There was Ningji Chenpo. So down here, even though the Chenpo is not there, it is not ordinary compassion we are talking about, but the great compassion. And he qualified this. He explained that this great compassion as the kind of love that a loving mother has for her only child. And so the great compassion is considering having this love for all sentient beings. And so when this kind of love appears naturally within us, not like something that we have to create or try to remember or to put into our mind, when it becomes natural, then this is called great compassion. Okay, and then again here, the perpetuating cause, Kempo said that it's the main cause. Ah, yes, okay, yeah, last time up there, I was the one to say main cause. Kempo didn't actually say main cause. And then here he said main, to, yu to. Okay, shows that I was not imagining, which is good. And yes, and then yes, and Kempo was saying that in here, even though for the relative bodhicitta, we are taking the main cause as the great compassion, it does not mean that for the relative bodhicitta, we don't need to have the wisdom at all, because the wisdom is still present as a helping or as an auxiliary condition, but it is still present. We still have this meditation on emptiness that is going on when we develop the relative bodhicitta. So these two things are always going in pair. Okay. And And so the end was when we obtained 10 bhumis. And so Kempo was generally saying that yes, so that's through reciting. So the benefits of reciting this praise would be to obtain the 10 bhumis, the 10 levels. And then for the 10 levels, the main cause would be the methods which are the great compassion, and the auxiliary factor or the auxiliary condition would be the wisdom, which is the emptiness or the ultimate bodhicitta. And so with these causes and conditions, then the 10 bhumis would be obtained. And that's what Kempo said about that. Okay. So now we start this part that we didn't see. Yes. Let me see. Yes, okay. So in this way, Sadalan Rinkitre des traveling progressively through the path and bhumis. I don't know if traveling is the correct verb here, but it must be something else that is usually used. But tra means that. And so what Kempo was saying is that here it is not that first we have to go to the end of the 5 paths, then we can start the bhumis, or the other way around. But these two are interlinked. And so what Kempo explained is that at the beginning, when a practitioner starts on the way, then he goes through the 2 parts of accumulation and application. And so this is developed or is gone through on its own. And then after that, the moment that we get on the path of seeing, then we have at the same moment, it's simultaneous, we obtain the first bhumi. So the path of seeing and the first bhumi are synonyms. Obtained, meaning the same thing. And then once we have reached that point, then we go through the path of training, of meditation, and which is composed of the 9 bhumis of the path of Gomlam Sago, of the 9 bhumis. So the path of meditation is the 9 next bhumis, from the 2nd until the 10th. And yes, and so it is in this way that the 5 paths and the 10 bhumis are going together. And progressively here to mean slowly, one after the other. Okay. Then hier går det konto pantok, jag tänkte köra på alles. The qualities of abandoning and realizing are parness, yes, to go up to increase or increase. I don't find the right word in English. Going contours, so upper and up, progressively higher and higher. And going higher and higher. Here, higher means from the first bhumi onto the second, and from one path to the next. So it is not higher in terms of space, but higher in terms of this progression. So maybe higher is not maybe there's a better solution than higher. But that's the literal way of putting it. And the qualities of abandonment and realism increase progressively, become bigger and bigger. And so the reason why I put here progressively is because you have cher, so a succession of two times the same thing, which says that it's one step after the other, and then it's getting bigger and bigger. Oh, I can, yeah, going higher and higher, get bigger and bigger. Or yeah, I can put that bigger and bigger. So here again, Campbell spent some time on the qualities of abandoning. And so here by abandoning, he said that it was the three poisons, the negative emotions of the three poisons, etc. And in short, all of the obscurations, whether they are emotional or cognitive, that obstruct the gaining of the path and the levels, the bhumis. So that is for the qualities of abandoning. And then for realizing, here by the qualities of realization, Campbell said it meant how much the nature of phenomena is become more and more manifest to us. So this is the qualities of realization. And then Campbell said that along the side, when we get rid of negative emotions, then together with that, at the same moment that we get rid of a certain emotion, then our understanding of the true nature of things becomes clearer and bigger and bigger. And so in that way, the qualities of realization get bigger and bigger. And so these qualities of realization could be things like the wisdom that realizes the non-self, and could also be the qualities such as the methods which are the great compassion, etc. So all the things that we need to obtain that are not abandoning something. So these are the qualities of realization. Yes, okay. And then for the next part, having into the city, having swiftly enter. Rapidly enter, gone to the city of prehending, knowing all the aspects of the knowable. Yes. So yes. So here, near to rapidly means very fast, and then knowing all the aspects of the knowable. The knowable meaning everything that can be apprehended, everything that can be known. So this knowing is, like Kemba was saying, it is this knowing all the aspects of everything is only something that the Buddha possesses. So it is for that reason that the Buddhas are called the omniscients, because they are the only ones who can apprehend all the aspects of everything that can be known. And Kemba was saying that there's here on the author is using the city. He's saying that so the omniscience is like a city, but of course it's not like there's a place that we can go in person. But this city refers to the level of Buddhahood. And the city should be understood as the level of Buddhahood. Yes. Will manifest the Dharmakaya the welfare of oneself, which is the ultimate path. Okay. From the Chambos. Yes. So I here just leave it Dharmakaya and leave it in Sanskrit, but I don't know if you want to translate it or not. This will depend. It's your choice. Okay. And so here Kempo was saying that this ultimate path is the path of no more learning. It is called the ultimate because there's nothing after that. So it is the path of no more learning. And about manifesting the Dharmakaya. Yes, here manifest, it's like in English when we say manifest, it looks like we are showing something. And in Tibetan Chugung Wendugyur, it's more in the sense of we get the realization, or we something becomes manifest in us. So maybe if I put the Dharmakaya, will be manifest, will become manifest. Then okay, so yeah, maybe ultimate path, which is the Dharmakaya, the welfare, so will become manifest. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, and then here what Kimbo was saying is that, so the fact that the Dharmakaya becomes manifest. So Kimbo was saying that the reason why we talk here about one's own good or the welfare of oneself is because when we reach that point, then we have abandoned all the sufferings until the subtlest one, that is found in the three realms of samsara that we have had before. And we have reached this level that is utterly unsurpassable. And at that moment, because we'll have no more problem whatsoever, because all our problems and everything that bothers us will have been gotten rid of, then it is for that reason that we are talking about the good of oneself, because all our problems do not exist anymore when the Dharmakaya is manifest in us. Okay, so that is for the welfare of oneself. Rituals. Okay. Then the Bumi Kendun Suku Nabanis. What's the structure I had before, but which is the Dharmakaya? Suku Nabanis. Kendun Suku Nabanis. Yes. The welfare of others. Keys. 그러면은 좋아 말로 봐. 신주동을 영어 교단 집을 들어왜 틀리 강같이서 말로 영어 집을 들어서 저도 독하여서 through them 좋아 말로 봐. The was let's see the dictionary how they put that. Nyangwa, yeah. Fearful or torment. Suffering. All beings, all the beings of the samsara, secret domain Yamawa. Torment of the suffering of samsara, suffering of all beings. That are with their causes. So here it is, and I just first make first draft, and I know there's something awkward here. So together and causes. The activity of liberating all the liberating true. From torment and suffering. Sindrutin Dominion Sidrin Dominion Judan Jabale Trutin and the torment of their suffering together with their causes, with its causes. Which Richeros. Trudent relations to chaos. Becomes the Ben Chamberers, the great captain. Gumi captain, who's seizing active living beings. Who accomplishes the seizing activity of liberating all beings from samsara. True. To them, accomplish then seizing all the beings from the torment of their suffering together with its causes. Okay. Okay, then here, and then about these two kayas, Campbell was saying that it is the body of perfect enjoyment, Sambhoga Kaya, and Nirmana Kaya, the body of manifestation. And so, generally speaking, these kayas, so you have the Dharma Kaya and the two kayas, these two kayas, or the kaya of manifestation, or the Rupa Kaya, the two Rupa Kayas, are made to are made or exist for the benefit of beings to be helped. And the basis for them to be perceived, for these two kayas to be perceived, is nothing else but the Dharmakaya, which has been realized, or that has been, yes, the Dharmakaya that has manifested within us. And because we have, because at that point we have, the Dharmakaya has manifested within us, then we don't need to make any effort or yes, there's no effort involved in the two kayas making the benefit of others. And the benefit of beings through these two Rupa kayas is made spontaneously. And so this is how the Rupa kayas appear. And the difference, as for the difference between the Rupa kaya and the Sambhoga kaya and the Nirmana kaya, the Sambhoga kaya has 5 certainties. And so the first certainty is that yes, so Kempo says that he didn't remember exactly all of these 5. We can check in other books, I guess. But like the history of Buddhism and how the teachings of the Buddha came into the human world, etc. So you have this usually in this kind of context in the history of Buddhism. Then you have how the teachings of the came from Kuntuzangpo or Vajradhara until us, and so at that point, then we have also the Sambhogakaya, the 5 certainties that come up. And so Kempo said that the ones he remembered were that yes, the audience, that the certain audience is that it is always and cannot be any other beings for the Sambhogakaya teachings. It cannot be anyone else than bodhisattvas of the 10th bhumi. And the certain time is the unending wheel of the permanently unending wheel. So it is the time of the never-ending wheel. Or I don't know exactly how it is translated, but yeah, that's the idea. We can check in dictionary after. And the certain teaching is the great vehicle. So it is always a great vehicle that is taught by the Sambhogakaya Buddhas. And so the appearance, certain appearance is having or possessing all the that the Sambhogakaya Buddha will have the major and minor marks, etc. And as for so that was for Sambhogakaya, and now for the Nirmanakaya, then Kempo was saying that there are many different kinds. Unlike there's this certain Sambhogakaya, the Nirmanakaya has many different kinds. There is, for example, the sublime or the supreme Nirmanakaya. Then there is the Nirmanakaya of the diversity, which means that it can take any a diversity of forms. Then there is the Nirmanakaya of crafts, and and so they're not only limited by that, but Nirmanakaya can take an infinity of forms. And as for the supreme Nirmanakaya, then Kempo was saying that it is like the Buddha Shakyamuni who took this form for the benefit of unpure sentient beings and took the form of a renunciant, someone who has abandoned attachment. So in short, the form of a monk. And for the supreme Nirmanakaya, it is always on the support of a man, not a woman, etc. And then the supreme Nirmanakaya is endowed with the supreme and minor, the major and minor marks, and will do the benefit of beings through the 12 deeds that all the Buddhas manifest or do. Okay, so that was for that part. And then here we have 2 times. I have put here all the beings of the samsara. And so this is what we have in Tibetan. And I think maybe one of these 2 is from the root text and the other one may be a commentary, which would explain why we have it 2 times. We'll check that after. And so, yes. So for that, Sidro, Sidro is kind of a short form for Sipedro, which means the sentient beings from the samsara. Sentient beings of the samsara. And as for torment, the torment of their suffering. So here, torment is something that is extremely difficult, or in a situation that we are completely, let's see what the dictionary says from that, helpless, hopeless, to be helpless, to be miserable, resourceless, this thing. Okay. So this is a torment, something that is a kind of suffering that is extremely intense, and it's extremely difficult to bear. And yes, through them accomplishes the unceasing activity of liberating, who liberates unceasingly. Yes. Here I was. Yeah, so here liberating, Campbell was saying, well, this is what Buddha, what beings should be, what should be done with sentient beings. So sentient beings should be liberated. And as for the activity, here, so in Tibetan, it's kind of a word that is not normal, chinne. It's, and so Campbell was saying this is just an action, or here it can be understood as the benefit of beings. So the activity of Buddhas and the benefit of beings are the same. And Chi-Si. Yes, I forgot to translate that part. All the beings of samsara from the various causes. Chi-Si. Namkha Chi-Si bar. Unceasingly. Namkha Chi-Si bar. As vast. As vastly as the space is vast. Okay, so maybe it became, I don't know if its cause is accomplishes exceedingly, and as vastless, the space is vast, the activity of liberating all beings. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and so here, as vast as the space is vast, then Kimball was saying that when we talk about space, we cannot say, okay, space starts here and then goes until here. So in the same way, then the benefit or the activity of the Buddha is not going to start somewhere and end somewhere. So in other words, it's saying that the activity will never cease, and will never cease, and there's not a place where this activity does not reach at. And yes, and then when for the captain, the great captain, Campbell was saying that it is the leader, or the person who has under his command a group of soldiers or persons or salesmen, and who is in charge of the boat when people are going on the ocean. And so this great captain, then so one becomes this great captain. And so Campbell was saying that it is one here means the person who recites this praise, whether it is for a given time or whether it is daily until the end of one's life, and whether it is once, 3 times, 1,000 times, etc. So here, the one who recites the praise is then becomes this great captain. Okay. And as for the verb becomes, Kimball was saying that of course it's not going to happen in one instant or one moment, but it is that through reciting this praise, we plant the seeds of gradually and progressively becoming this great captain and this Buddha. Yes, okay. That's what Kimball explained until here. Then next part. So now we have reached this 5th part. We finished the praise and the benefits. Kimball was saying, like at the very beginning, we had these 5 parts. Yes. So the author, the name, the homage of the translation, the text itself, and the conclusion colophon. Okay, so we reached this here, the 5th one. Chukitun literally it means what lies at the end. Has 3 parts. Okay, so 5a, it is the colophon. Will be Manjushri, the part of the translator, Zhejiang Kyurjiang's. So here, the colophon of the author. Yes, I don't actually what means colophon, but here it is the part that talks about the author, the part that talks about the translator. Maybe that's what I'm going to put here. A part about the author, about the translator, and C complements what comes after or on the side. Going to draw a developing the interest aspiration by telling the story. Okay. Tongbonis. So this is 5a. And so, so for that we have to go back to the text here. So we have this part which says, okay, 잘못된 Yes, so we have reached here. And so it's Yes, it's from the third line, the end of the third line until the middle of the fourth one. So maybe I will copy it so that we can have it in the text. So where are we here? So I'm going to do like the Tibetans in the etc. You have it's time for the pause now. Okay, so we make a break and then come back after.
Okay. See you guys in 10.
See you in 10 minutes. cause. Okay, shall we continue? Okay. So this is the part in Tibetan. In the commentary, in the root text of the commentary that is being commented here, and it says the praise called here ends the praise comma that the master Dorje Tsuncha. Yeah, it was translated. Okay. Vajra arm composed in praise. So here, that the literally it says that the master Vajra arm praised according to this and that, but then here praised alone does not really fit. So I add composed in praise. Let me put this like that. Okay. In praise. When he had a vision, Manjushri had a vision, yes. Manjushri. Composing praise. According to the qualities that he saw in Chittavarta, but also yes. Here's one. Had a vision according that the master Dorje Tsuncha composed and praised when he had a vision of Manjushri, and according to the qualities that he then saw. And then meaning in this vision. So maybe I'm not really clear in how I wrote it, but the idea is that Master Dorje Tsuncha had a vision of Manjushri, and then after that he wrote this this praise that was describing the qualities that he has perceived during this vision. Okay, so this is the passage that is being referred to. Okay. And then source. 5a is so in Tibetan, the Jamikhen Tsewangpo is taking the beginning of the root text of the commentary. So I will take the beginning of my translation and do something like that, etc. Okay, so this is for 5a. Now for the second part, 5b. source. And again here we have this part. And so in the etc. Then here 추지당바 chen 성부 교와 okay. Later, yes, this was translated by Rinchen Zhangbo, the novel translator. So I'm going to do the same here. This was translated, etc. Okay. So it's 5b. Now 5c. Open chunk so so again here I have to write it. Okay, yes, so it goes until the end. So let me write it. So while I do that, maybe you can already start working, and because it will take some time. Tell you when I'm finished. Okay. So on the end of the commentary, it says this following. It is said that from the masters like Dignagan and Dharmakirti and Chandragome up to Rinchen Zangpo, the translator, 21 masters all had visions of Manjushri and gain accomplishments. So this refers to the lineage of the practice of this praise. And this praise in the commentary in 30 verses or points or something else. I don't know. We should try to find the text itself to know if it is verses or points, were both held in high regard by Ngo Loden Shirab, the translator. And he didn't transmit or give them to ordinary people. Okay, so then 5c refers to that part. So 5c is, it is said that etc. is easy to understand, implying that it does not require a commentary. Okay, right, I didn't separate into words. Yes, okay, so here the word Gyurje is what does the action of translating, or the one who does the action of translating, and here this refers to the translator. And so Campbell said that he had a hard time finding the actual root text of Jamikhenze Wangpo, and so he looked at another version, I guess in the Tengyur, which has a translation of this praise by Ngo Loden Shirab. And so Campbell was saying that Ngo Loden Shirab was born in 1059 and died in 1109, and was a contemporary, maybe a few years younger, of Rongzom Pendita. Okay, so that's what Campbell said about this. So all of this is in the etc. And so now the last part of the commentary. Yes, okay, yeah. So in order to make things clear, this we can put in bold until Ntamba. Then we have Sok that ends right there, which is good. This also is in bold. Okay. No. Yantanchilo. Sanji. Chabata Devar. Do. Tongwei Chua. Chongwei Taba. Gebondi. Togmar. Judenki. Lama Le. Jubate Bi. Tanga. Ne. Okay. Thus, this king of praises that exists, yes, endowed with Yes. Endowed with inconceivable benefits and blessings that is extant until today. So here, extant, which means that exists, but literally it says that is something that can be seen until today. In the, to start with, one should, once one one should receive the instructions of pointing awareness from master who has the lineage. And okay, so yes, so unconceivable, Campbell was saying that is beyond the field of what our minds can perceive. This is how he defined inconceivable. Sampai yule deba. And then here, when it says can be seen until today, is until today meaning the day, the time during which Dhamma Khyentse Wangpo was alive. So since it's Dhamma Khyentse Wangpo who's writing that it's at his time, until his time. Yes, and then here, when it is said this king of praises, means that out of the many different praises of Manchu that there is, this one is like the king. And then pointing one's awareness of, yes, his, let's do like Kempo David said, to put they in order to be gender neutral. One should receive the instruction of pointing their awareness from master who has the lineage. Okay, so here this pointing the awareness. Yes, their awareness. Okay. So Campbell was saying that it is like showing something to someone, but here it is through the mind, through the awareness, through I don't know exactly how they translate it. Let's see. Whatever. Let's see, dictionary. Okay. So then most probably is yes. Knowledge entrustment. Level of initiation associated with Kriya Tantras. Confer and focusing of awareness. Richard Barron. Okay. So yeah. Any of these will do. 19. Okay, focusing on control. Focusing on awareness from Masuha's lineage. Okay, and so here, yes, and so Campbell saying that it is what happens during that time is that the teacher is kind of focusing himself and thinking that he's consciously transmitting these blessings of this practice or this praise. And so he's putting his intention on sharing that, on giving to the disciple that that awareness or that yes. So Campbell was saying that it is not exactly in this context. It is not really an empowerment because we're not in the context of Vajrayana. But it is more something like a transmission, like a reading transmission or something like that. Yes, and here Campbell was saying that the verb ne, to receive, is in the past tense. So it is after having received that, but because of how I was forced to structure the sentence in English, I put the verb in present tense. One should receive the instructions. I could have put somewhere after having received this and that, but yeah, it looks easier that way. Okay, so yeah, and Campbell was saying that it is not in the context of the Vajrayana, but it looks like in the compendium of sadhanas where this praise is found, right after there is an actual empowerment. And Campbell said that he didn't find this text with inside which there is these passages that I have drawn here. And so because of that, I think Campbell was not seeing that there right after there is this actual empowerment. So it is in the context of Vajrayana. But it doesn't mean that Campbell is wrong because the praise itself is not part of Vajrayana. It can be used as a sadhana, as a part of sadhana, as the main element of sadhana, but in itself it is belonging to the mainstream Mahayana. Okay. So for that part, now the last sentence. Didn't teach Nyamsu Lembala Beber Chao. And one should diligent in the practice with wine-pointed devotion and diligence. Okay. And so, yeah, that's the literal version, but one could also say one should practice diligently. So to be diligent in the practice and to practice diligently, it's kind of, I don't know if there's really a difference in meaning. Okay, so that's what this sentence said, and then afterward, so here there's an explanation. Yeah, she jumped on the two bars. That which is written as a mere reminder as yes, a reminder note. Yeah. something not to forget. Jiang. Jie is to forget, and Jiang is a list or something like that. So it is a list that is used in case you forget. It's like points that you get back to if you forget. Okay, something not to forget. By Manju Gosha. Tripa. And then there's this Sarva Sata Hito Tu. And then Kempo said that for this, he doesn't know so much Sanskrit, but in an attempt with the little that he knows, Sarva means everything, all. All. Sata would become. Hito would be benefit. Bhava would be cause. And tu would be something like the exclamation mark. And altogether, Campbell was saying that it looks like it meant it be the cause of all benefits. Something like that. Okay. But then he insisted that he doesn't know Sanskrit so well, so it's just an attempt of understanding what this means. Yeah, and it's just like at the very beginning, the Namo Manju Goshaya, in the translation, we should leave it in Sanskrit because the Tibetans also left it in Sanskrit, so we should also leave the same and not translate it. This is just an oral explanation. Okay. And so if we join the two of them, the idea would be that may that which is written as a mere reminder by Manjugasha be the cause of benefit for all benefits. So it's kind of a puzzle to translate because you have half of the sentence which is in Tibetan and the other half which is in Sanskrit which you don't want to translate. So I don't know what to do with that. Okay, so that was for the explanation. How much time do we still have left? Okay, quite some time. Do you have any questions up until here? What we have seen now? Otherwise, we go to the answers of the Kempo. I had this yesterday, I spent quite some time with him talking about all our issues, and he covered everything. Shall we go to his answers, or do you want some time to write it down?
Whatever you think is best. I would need some time to write down and for more questions, but we could do either or. We could do all of it now, or just start writing now. Up to you, Drupchen, or everyone else.
Yeah, like you want. For me, it's the same. What do you prefer? Maybe since
go through the questions and finish all together.
Yeah, but yeah, to start with, I think since what we have seen today is still fresh in your mind, then maybe you can rewrite that part before you forget the details, and then after we go back to the. So what should we do? It's 4:50 now. Yeah. You take the time that you need, and after you tell me, and then we see if we still have some time to look at the questions.
Okay.
Then I don't know, in half an hour, I come back and see where you are.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Because maybe some of the questions might help us with what we're writing as well. just above, you know.
Yeah. Yes, I was looking at this part here, which I'm selecting here. So the city of apprehending and knowing all the aspects of knowable, and actually it is the city of the omniscient one. So it is the person rather than the fact of knowing. So it is the city of the persons, meaning the city where you only have omniscient ones. So the idea is that if you reach the city of the enlightened ones, you yourself will be an enlightened one. And so that's how the Kimball was saying that the city here is another word for the level of omniscience, the level of the omniscient ones. So putting the city of the one who, the ones in plural, right? Who apprehend know all the aspects of the knowable, then makes more sense.
For the second version, would it be all right to put to the city of the omniscient ones or something like that? Or do you think it'd be better to put the whole thing?
To shorten the ones who apprehend all the aspects of the knowable into omniscient ones. Well, you're cutting off all this here.
My question is, could that be interpreted as omniscient ones?
No, this part here, number tamji kemba can be omniscient one. Tamji kemba la chanzelo, etc. This you find. So how much to the omniscient ones? This is fine. This can be translated as omniscient one. But then if you remove and only keep the omniscient ones without the ones who apprehend all the aspects of the knowable, or if you just say if for all of this you only keep the omniscient one, then you will be taking out the aspects of the knowable. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would be like after having rapidly entered the city of the omniscient ones. So you lose the fact that it is the omniscient ones who know all the aspects of the knowable.
But this is a reiteration, because by themselves, by being omniscient, they know all the aspects of the knowable. They know everything. So
yes, that's why.
I mean, we could repeat. It could be repeated, but
it's not repeated because I said the ones who
is the condition of knowing everything.
Yes, but here I don't have the omniscient ones who know. I have the ones who know. So there's no repetition.
No, here no. But I mean, if we put omniscience, like he was saying, Santiago, because I was also looking at the title of that prayer, which is entering the city of omniscience. Yeah. And I was looking at words to see if they were equivalent to this, and I saw but they don't have the same words that they have here.
The same words. They have the same words.
It's just short and che and ju.
Namken is, look at this. Nam is this one. Yeah, nam is this one. Ken is this one. Trong is this one, and juk is entering. So besides entering, everything else is here.
It's shukso. What is it?
Yes, shukso it's the title. The title is, this is what is there. But here, what I'm meaning to say is that if you here, the author has chosen not to put omniscient ones. He has chosen to put the ones who understand or who know all the aspects of the knowable. He wanted to expand the word omniscient one into this sentence. So if we kind of shorten it back, shrink it back to omniscient one, then we are failing at translating his intention. That's my answer to Santiago.
So omniscient would be what word? What word?
So here, if you wanted to find the omniscient, it would be that one. Tamche Kemba. But here, because of the way the sentence is made, it's not a good idea to put omniscient one.
All right.
It's the same difference as saying the president and, I don't know, the leader of this and that country. So if you say the leader of that country, you're expanding the meaning of president. And if in the sens text you have the leader of that country, then you don't want to just put the president because you lose details. Okay. And actually here it's interesting to see that so in the root text of Jamakense Wambo, it is the omniscient one. And then in his commentary, he explains what it means by omniscient. Omniscient literally in Tibetan is the one who knows everything. And so this begs the question, to know everything what? And this is where he adds the one who knows all the aspects of the knowable. So all the aspects of the knowable is the commentary to omniscient.
I see,
And it's probably an interesting point because what is called omniscience has changed actually in Buddhism from the beginning to the development of Mahayana. I heard the talk about the beginning of Buddhism, and what is so obvious for us, what we understand for omniscient, has not always been so. Apparently. So there was a discussion actually on that.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that. Was it within Mahayana, or was it between what omniscient meant for general Buddhism and then Mahayana?
Yes, is this guy from Sri Lanka?
Yes. Then yes, Hinayana. Yeah. It's true that the so recalling the three jewels, or the Sutra of recalling the Buddha and Sutra of recalling Dharma, etc., they all begin with, I pay homage to the omniscient one. So it must have meant something in the Theravada context.
Yeah. And I heard this talk where he explained how the concept developed, including more and more, actually.
Okay.
I have the notes. That was interesting. I never questioned these things. So that makes a point also about, explaining exactly what it means.
Yes. And yes, and so here, especially for this place, we see the reason why keeping the bold in the commentary is necessary, because it kind of makes you see something that otherwise you wouldn't have seen. And yes, and so since we're translating a commentary of things, these parts that are in bold, then knowing what is in bold is the root text will also change the way we'll write the translation. Did we take a break? No? Then let's take one then.
Okay.
All right.
And actually here in this place where it says liberating all beings of the samsara, then there is a mismatch in the source, in the root text and the commentary. Because the root text says, so all beings without exception are liberated from going. What is implied is going into the different realms of the samsara, and or going to their respective realms. But then here in the commentary, he says all beings, and then here in the commentary he puts the focus on the suffering and the causes of these sufferings of all beings from the samsara. And so the verb from the root text is turned into a noun here, which is why it looks like we have 2 times the same thing. All beings and the beings from the samsara. But it is a draw is the verb to go. So draw, the one who moves, is for all beings. And so it is for that reason that we have this kind of awkward construction. Because he wanted to include all the words from the source, the root texts, and then he ended up changing a verb into a noun. So yeah, and this is rather, I don't know how to deal with that in the translation.
Can you repeat it, Drupchen? It was not very clear. Is the activity to liberate all sentient beings from samsara? How?
Yes. So let me write down here the 2 versions. So here we have so that is in the commentary. What did I do? Okay. So here we can take that out. And take that out also. And in the root text, let me check here. It's not drama libas. Okay. Draw le pas. Drama le pas. Draw oui. Draw les. Draw loi. Yeah. So this, the translation of this would be liberating the beings without exception. Yes. From going in their respective realms. And here going is understood as being reborn.
Wandering this from the cycling.
Yes. Yes. And here in the commentary it says liberating all, yes, the beings without exception from the suffering, from the tormenting suffering and its causes of the samsara's beings. So you see that here what is, I'll put in red, and draw here is that, and here it is that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if we have these samsaras from the ones of the samsara who go, who move.
But that part, that's a draw that you're putting beings is existence, no?
Which one?
The beings that you're putting as samsara's beings, because that doesn't.
Yes.
That is the samsara's existence. They exist.
No,
the beings exist in samsara.
Yes, but draw and draw means it's the verb to go, and here it is the short for drawa, which is the one that we have here.
But beings is human. You say beings like
yes,
beings.
Yeah. Beings is a synonym for beings. Sentient is drawa. So a synonym for sentient beings is those who move about, those who have the ability to move. Because you take a tree, it cannot move by itself. There's only one kind of tree that walks in India. It's a kind of it's a ficus something, and then it grows one. It's usually when we talk about those who move, it's either animals or human beings or gods or nagas or spirits or anything, except inanimate stuff. So, draw here is used for beings. And the draw in orange is the same one. It's also referred to those who move around.
He repeats, but then you could put in the possessive there samsara, or because
the possess.
Yes, it's the structure. I mean, the fact that you have twice, it doesn't mean that you could not put it in a kind of possessive way. If you use a if you could use a possessive, or like their sense of their own samsara, right? Of their samsara, because you're talking about the being. So the fact that is repeated is not going to change,
it's not
unless you would say beings. You had a larger class of beings, and then you had a specific class. Then you would change the meaning. But if there's no difference.
The thing is that here
there's no difference because the first beings and the second beings are the same.
They are the same, but for the first one, but we're not talking in the second one. What we're talking about is the suffering and its causes.
Yes.
So the samsaras beings suffering. So you cannot say they're suffering, their samsara suffering, because it's kind of, I don't know. It looks to me that it's unrelated. I think we should try to see if it works or not. Liberating beings from the suffering of their samsara. Looks strange.
No, but you can put another, liberating the beings from their suffering. It's not just this tormented suffering. Because in the first version you had the suffering and samsara in another way, right?
In the root text.
No, in your other sentence you had let me see. The liberating all beings of the samsara from the torment of their suffering, together with its causes. So you could
this is because
the activity of liberating the beings from samsara, from the torment of their suffering and its causes.
Yeah, but here I put all beings, all the beings, because I didn't see that there was this root text and commentary, which is why I made it strange. But taking into account the fact that there's a root text and commentary, then this is why I translate in the second way. It looked to me to be kind of two things, one put beside the other. But then after, when I looked at the root text, then I understood that it meant something else. So I should change this, liberating all the beings from torment of the suffering, the samsaras beings. Or I put, to be more exact, to tormenting suffering. Samsaras beings. Well, at least we don't have the two beings that are one beside the other. That's making already things better. But yeah, it's interesting to see that when he made the commentary himself, then he decided to focus not on the beings themselves or on the fact that they are born somewhere, that they go somewhere, but on the fact of them suffering, to focus on their suffering. It's kind of, yeah, big change of meaning.
In the same sentence, just above Drupchen, when you say the last bhumi, which is the two kayas.
Yes. Ultimate bhumi.
Well, yeah, because ultimo bhumi, yes, I translated last. The ultimate bhumi, which is the two kayas, does it mean is where the two kayas are developed? This is.
Here. Yeah, it is, because you have Sathardu Shendun Suku Nambayi. So
Yeah.
here it's again Sathardu on the one side, and right after in juxtaposition you have the two kayas.
Yeah.
So they are the same. It's not one which is, they are the same. So the ultimate level of the ultimate bhumi is itself the two kayas, which is the welfare of others. It's kind of, yeah, difficult to put together.
Yeah, the explanation would be is that where you get the two kayas when you get to the last bhumi, to the ultimate bhumi, or not?
When you finish, when you have completed the last bhumi, the ultimate bhumi, then you have realized or gained the two kayas. You have attained the two kayas. Yeah, because the last bhumi is still, it's still like the first bhumi. It has a beginning, and it goes on for some time, and then after it ends. And for example, we said that,
if we say that is the same, is the whole last bhumi are the two kayas. When we speak in our languages, that's the way it sounds.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Well, well, actually, even in the Sutrayana, you talk about 11 bhumis. Not only 10 bhumis, because we said that Manjushri is still a bodhisattva of the last moment of the 10th bhumi. So as long as you're still in the 10th bhumi, even in the last one, you're still not a Buddha. And Satyujiba, I don't remember the name of the 11th bhumi, but the 11th bhumi is enlightenment. So I guess here, when we talk about the ultimate bhumi, because it is the one that goes the farthest, then it becomes the 11th, not the 10th one. Let's see how they call it. Satyuji, so they have something, 11 grounds. Yes, Satyujigpa, so the 11 ground. Yes, it's Kuntu Samanta Prabha. strange that they put the 11 levels, not the 11th level. Yeah, here it is put in the right way. What did they say? Contour, complete radiant. The 11th Bodhisattva level. Yes, right. All the minutes. Okay. Yeah. So this one is so when reaching this bhumi is like reaching enlightenment for the Mahayana, common Mahayana.
Yeah, the thing is, you see, when we say that the ultimate bhumi, which is the two kayas, we are saying that one like time or
no
is two things, you know, and this just sounds very strange. Doesn't make much sense.
Okay. So the ultimate yes, okay. The ultimate level for you is like it is time bound, has a beginning and an end, right?
I wonder how to assimilate that, how to say that, you know, like, yeah, one bhumi is two kayas, when it seems we're talking with different things.
Yeah.
Unless we say the ultimate bhumi, time of the two kayas, or moment of the two kayas, or period, or realization, like it seems like something is missing to relate the two.
Yeah. So this is usually something where translators will invent something.
Okay, yeah.
But I prefer to ask a question to a Kempo.
Yeah, if we need to insert something to link them, what would be the best thing? The less intrusive.
Yes. So, Labnas. That's it. Chi gosa. Chi ber shebato trados country Chenko Chentos. Okay. Well, at least for me, it doesn't make any problem. But let's see what the Kempo will say.
Yeah, when I read it in Tibetan, kind of, okay, it's like that.
So
But if you want to
keys. Yeah, but even in English, for me, to the ultimate level, which is the two kayas, the welfare of other becomes through the ultimate level, which is the two kayas, or the welfare of others. We could put one becomes the great captain who liberates all beings. Yeah, for me, doesn't really. I don't think there's nothing to add. And yeah.
Maybe it's only me.
But yeah, I think what helps me not to find it strange is that I know that it is anyhow technical terms and technical concepts that are being manipulated. So then even when a Tibetan reads this, he knows that, of course, sa is the level, and then these have beginning and end, but he knows also that the tukayas are something different. And since he knows that the ultimate level never stops, so it's like the ultimate bhumi. Once you reach the 11th bhumi, you never go out of it because it's Buddhahood. You cannot go further than that. So it's not like it has a beginning and an end.
I see what you mean. I see your point. Yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't know that when I was reading it in Spanish, it didn't make much sense. But it's because I didn't understand that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I'll draw multiple. Yes, okay. So it's like we have 3 minutes left for the prayers now. Okay. So